Welcome to Design Dash, a bite-sized talk series where we get into the good stuff, marketing meets creativity, and how AI is shaking things up in design.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Design Dash. My name is Aika, brand growth and marketing specialist at Venngage. And here with me today are my co-hosts, Jay Nair, marketing lead at Venngage, and founder of La Isa Design and LinkedIn carousel designer, Nadia Fernandez.
Hi.
Hey guys.
Okay, so today's topic is about ethics in AI generated design. And I personally had an unfortunate experience whereby someone actually took some of my AI generated artwork and claimed it as their own in their own LinkedIn post. There was no credit, no mention of my work in her post, which made me quite frustrated, but at the same time, it also made me wonder, can I even be mad when it's AI generated? So copyright around AI is such a gray area right now, and it's hard to know what we actually have the right to claim.
That was really wrong when I noticed the post. It was like an exact copy from what you did. What I think is if AI made it, does it make it free for all? At the same time, there's prompt engineering as well. You're the one like creating the prompt to get that particular output and you worked hard on that. But again, there's no intellectual property tied to it. And it also, I think, comes hand in hand with being a designer, being a content creator, and having like the integrity with content, with your own original content. What do you guys think? Is this okay, or is it free for all? Like anyone can use it and we all sort of end up having similar designs?
As a designer, especially designer and content creator, it's very frustrating, right? You do use the help of AI to create your final result, but you put effort, time, and work behind it. If you use AI generated images or text, feel like the final result is the combo and the placement and the color coding and everything behind that work. If you take this, call it your own, and give no credit, then yeah, that's out of the gray area, I think.
Okay, so let's have a look at the copyright approach. So in the US, purely AI generated work, which means no human creative input, isn't protected by copyright. So if AI assists, but you add substantial creative input, your part can be protected. But if it's only AI, then there is no protection. And in comparison, the UK is different. They have the concept of computer generated works. So the person who sets up the system or process might get the rights, but it still hinges on human involvement and there's no universal agreement. So we're still sort of on the fence on this. And it depends on which market you're from.
Yeah, so other places like the EU and China, it's kind of mixed. In EU wants human originality, but in China sometimes they grant rights if human direction is clear. Overall, it's a global legal patchwork. We don't really know what we can definitely or indefinitely do or what's right and wrong. And I think this is very much still being understood and there isn't any sort of like, restrictions currently.
Yeah. I think legal or not, giving credit is basic respect for anyone, not just designers. So if you are using AI art that someone has already created, please acknowledge it.
I also think there's ways you can protect your work. One of them is you can watermark it. Yeah, it's ugly. No one wants to see a watermark in a cool image because it's not part of it, right? But hey, the option is there. From a website design perspective, add metadata to your files. There's always an alt text. There's always a caption, title, something you can add to it. So if people uses it, that metadata still exists in the background. And then third, maybe use platforms that have clear licensing policies. And one of them, I personally use Ideogram, which I think they really make a very distinct licensing or allowance on what you can use and what you can't use if you're a paid customer or you aren't. So I think you can protect your work in one way or another.
Yeah, so one of the biggest issues in AI right now is you can unknowingly prompt something that's really close to an existing design, even like a design that's quite famous, for example. So you think you've kind of made something original, something that's you, but the AI may have pulled patterns, layouts, or even the exact elements from someone else's work as part of its training data in the backend already. So there's no other way around this. That's exactly plagiarism, even if you didn't intend to. None of us intended to. One of the ways is to do a reverse image search or compare, the AI outputs against existing work before publishing. I personally find that even by doing that, sometimes you can miss the mark if someone actually is kind enough to tell you this looks similar to someone else's work, or this looks a little too much like this famous person's design or writing or whatever it is. And if you really didn't know, it's just about like saying, oh, this was something I thought that came out of my mind, and just try to either give credit or do something that's a bit more original. At the end of the day, it's really about protecting your reputation as much as respecting other creators' work, because they put as much effort as you did into it.
Exactly. I think that line has to be drawn, and if AI help in some way doesn't mean it's free for all. So that line has to be very clear.
So to summarize, for me, it's about keeping AI as a tool that empowers creativity, not one that excuses theft or lazy copying. What about you, Nadia?
Couldn't agree more. This summarizes it perfectly. Use it, embrace it, just don't take advantage of it.
And what about you, Jay?
Yeah, for me, it's about trying your best to put your creative individuality on it. And if you're still called out in any formal way, take it gracefully and begin to give credit, so we all can move forward ethically with this, and there isn't like any sort of abuse of AI at any point. So that's about it. This is our third and final Design Dash episode. We've gone from rookie mistakes to working with AI visuals, and now how to protect your work and stay ethical in the process.
All right. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We hope you are walking away with some new perspectives to shape your own journey in AI and design. And we hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. See ya.